always weird looking at your picture. I'm not used to this. I have not run for office before. Thank you all for coming out. I just want to mention these names again because folks, putting these together is complicated and it's a pain. And a lot of people put a lot of work into me and my campaign. Bob Karlstrom, Jim and his wife Celine, Mr. Ellis, and Mr. Maruff, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. And I want to say, and be very clear too, that to everyone here, and I see quite a few familiar faces, who has knocked on a door, who has sign waved with me, who has called someone on the phone when you weren't in the mood to do it, thank you so much. What's made this campaign different than our other two friends in the campaign is people actually believe in this. There are no mercenaries on our campaign, none. So I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm not used to this, really. It has been to say a humbling experience, and that's an overused expression, might be an understatement of the year. I go home to my wife every night and I say, do you believe all of these people who have found some meaning in this? It's incredible, and it really means more to me than I think you all will ever know. So thank you so much. Well, we had a good day. We did Sean Hannity's radio show. A couple listeners, about 15 million. So my Twitter account's been blowing up all day. And today was the day to take the gloves off. Now, I don't mean that in some hyper-partisan fashion. And I mean that because I know not everyone in the room is a Republican, and I'm honored that those who are showed up. Folks, the state doesn't have enough Republicans to win. But there are so many annoyed Democrats, I think we're in fantastic shape right now. And ask yourself right now, why are there so many people who are independents or Democrats? Why are they so annoyed and so upset? Well, there's a very clear, distinct, almost edible answer. It's right in front of you. This isn't the America you and I know. I think at our hearts and in our instincts, we all get that. We're in a bad spot right now, folks. We are in a really, really bad spot. But we're the United States. We fixed this. We can fix this before. The problem is, and I think why there are so many upset Democrats and independents is, the way forward being suggested by the President and Senator Carter is not going to fix this. And I'll tell you why. Why would you think, let's boil it down, because I can get granular or we can get cosmic, but let's stay in the big umbrella view of this argument. Why is what the President's doing right now failing? And how do we fix it? Well, you should ask yourself, I know I have. We spent $1 trillion on this stimulus. Why didn't it work? How can you spend $1 trillion and it not work? I'm going to give you a very simple answer that is going to be impossible for you to refute. I love economics. It's my passion. It has been my whole life. It's really the study of psychology more than anything. But Milton Friedman said, when other people spend your money, government, he said there are 4 ways to spend money. Think about this, right? You can spend money on yourself. So if you buy that red polo shirt for yourself, the cost of it matters. You're not going to spend too much on it. The quality matters, right? Very efficient way to spend money. That's why individual entrepreneurialism works. So let's get a little more inefficient. You, second way to spend money, can spend other people's money on yourself. In that case, you're probably thinking, okay, well, I'm buying a product with someone else's money, but I'm buying it for myself. So that's, in that case, the quality matters, but the cost doesn't matter. It's not your money. We could this is the most inefficient way to spend money around. You taking other people's money and spending it on other people. Well, think about it. What matters? Does cost matter? No, because it's not your money. But does quality matter? No, because it's not your product either. I said that on Hannity. That is at its core. That is why this stimulus didn't work. What they did was they took $1 trillion from your pocket. Folks, it was your money. You either believe money has value or you don't. It's not, that's why we don't trade in refrigerators. We use money. It's a store of value. When you work and you get that callus on your hand, you did it. You agree to do it for value, which is stored in that paper they give you. Something was behind that. Your sweat and tears back that up. When you just take it out of people's pockets and then re-spend it on them, taking 40 cents out of a bureaucratic cost, if not more for yourself, how do you think that's going to create anybody's jobs? Of course it didn't work. It was an utter failure. So, how do we fix it? Because it's not good enough to tell you what's broken. It's not. How do we fix it? Well, Reagan had the right idea. And I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. Any politician who tells you they is, tell you they are, tell you they is. Sorry, it's been a long day. Any politician or anyone running for office who tells you they are, immediately discount their vote. It's been done before. But Reagan did. And these are the numbers, not my opinion. So again, please, if you're a Democrat, thank you for being here. But let me just give you the numbers and chew on this one. 1980, Carter's in office, top marginal tax rate, 70%. Pretty high, right? Right now it's 35%, it's going to go up to 40%. So you're saying at 70%, we probably raised a lot of money. We taxed everyone, we got all the money. Well, we raised about $509 billion. Ooh, decent amount of money. Reagan comes into office. Over 8 years, he cuts the tax rate all the way down to 28%. 28%. Now you must be thinking, wow, we must have lost a lot of money, cut all those taxes. No, we didn't. You know what the take to the government was? $900 billion. Because here's the big mystery, folks. When you put money back in your pockets, you spend it. You spend it on products and services. You go to Home Depot, you buy a brand new door. The door company makes more money and hires more door makers and buys more wood, who hire more carpenters, who pay more taxes, who hammer more nails, who buy more nails from the nail company, who pay more taxes, who in turn open more Home Depot stores that make more middle-class people rich, who buy the Home Depot stores and run them, who pay more taxes. That's what happens when Friedman said, you spend your money on yourself. It's always efficient. I was talking to a couple over here before, and they said, well, quickly, what do you stand for? And this is it. When people say to you, why should I vote for Dan Bongino? He will not raise your taxes no matter what. Because there's nothing I can do with your money. Nothing. You can't do yourself. Nothing. Now, this is not an argument. I want to be very clear. This is not an argument. I'm stealing Barack Obama's line. He says it all the time. Let me be clear. So, let me be really clear. Because he's usually not clear. That's the joke. He says, let me be clear, and then he throws you a curveball. No, that's not clear. I'm not saying, and I don't know any Republican running anywhere who's running on a platform that we don't need to pay taxes. I don't think anyone in this room would say that. Of course, I'm sick and tired of the lecture about how Republicans are anti-government. Nonsense, garbage, throw it out. I wrote in my Twitter feed the other day, ignore media-driven narratives. Ignore them. Pay no attention. The only narrative that matters is yours. They want you to believe Republicans is a war on fill in the blank. And it's so, the argument's gotten so ridiculous, you can really war on, lizards, women, and it's just ridiculous. But the war on government, that's nonsense. God bless our military, our police, our fire, our corruption-free force. I will pay my last dollar in taxes to fund one of these patriots that comes home with a missing leg, an eyeball missing fingers from an explosion. I will give you my last dollar, no matter what, because you were willing to put your skin in the game, your real skin in the game, while most people, unfortunately, will just talk about it. That's not the fight we're fighting. I would argue that's the fight the Democrats are fighting against them, because they're spending their money. Folks, a dollar is a zero-sum game. If I spend that dollar and I don't spend it on that wounded warrior coming home, and I spend it on a soccer field in Guantanamo Bay, that's not responsibility. That's not an argument for that. I say that because I don't want you to ever leave here, ever, and cede the moral high ground. ever. Thomas Sowell, my favorite author. There you go. That's how we love Thomas Sowell. He's the best. You got to read all this. Vision of the Anointed is the best book. But Sowell says, right at the beginning of Vision of the Anointed, he says, men are never so sincere as when they're asserting their own moral superiority. And he means it. Obama does it all the time. But do not leave here tonight and believe for a second that they are the morally superior party and we're not. I'll tell you right now, they believe in compassion only through intentions. We do compassion through results. There's a difference. There is a difference. There are real people suffering and hurting right now because of them, not us. The greatest growth in the black middle class was in the Reagan administration. Us. We did that. Not them. And again, I don't mean to make a partisan attack, because there are some good Democrats. There are. I mean, we have some Democrats out there who get it. Not a lot, but we do have some. Martin O'Malley's not one of them, I assure you. I say that because hold your head high. Really, we fix things. They just talk about fixing things. Healthcare. Same issue on healthcare. They're saying, we need to we need to insure more Americans. Insure them with what? An insurance nobody takes? I can give you insurance too. Go for it. Well, you have Dan's insurance. There you go. No one takes it, but you have it. Walk out. That's what they're doing. They're insuring them in a program that has failed. And they're selling them this argument about the vouchers, you're going to get a book of coupons. They are frauds. They are lying. We have the real plan. Folks, here's a stunning statistic. Real statistic, real number. University of Virginia study. If you're on Medicaid, you are 93% more likely to die after surgery than someone that has private insurance. Now, is it a perfect study? No, but that number, but it gets even worse. You are, between 13 and 17% more likely to die after surgery than someone who has no insurance at all. That is not help. That's not help. That is not compassion. See no moral high ground to anyone who defends that. We're the ones who offered a plan. You know what our plan is? When you get past this ridiculous media narrative that's not true, it's made up, it's fake, it's Aesop's fables, it doesn't exist. Our plan gives you the ability, through premium support, to go buy the exact same insurance plan that these phonies in Capitol Hill have. So I don't see them dropping it. Who's compassionate? Us? Putting you in the same plan that these senators and congressmen get, that Warren Buffett could buy into? Or these ideological leftists who are going to stick you in a government clinic nobody wants to be in? That's their program. That's their idea of shared prosperity. They're only sharing your prosperity. They're not sharing it their own. It's theirs. Education, folks. This is important. I know the economy's struggling. I know. But I'm passionate about this. All these consultants always tell me, stop talking. No one cares about education. I do. And you should do. It is the civil rights issue of our day. There's no question about it. As you walk in tonight, I use this analogy all the time. It should really bite you. People say that a lot. It's a civil rights issue. No, this is. When you came in tonight, if I would have said to you, most tall kids in Baltimore County, or most kids with blue eyes in Baltimore City, go to a poor school, you would look at me and say, that's absurd. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I have to agree with you. It's pretty ridiculous. So let's exchange out the physical attributes, none of which have any correlation whatsoever to anything. I say to you when you came in tonight, most black and Hispanic kids in Baltimore City go to a poor school. I can guarantee you nod your head and approve of it. I just told you the same thing twice. I did. You may not believe it, but I just told you the same thing twice. The first was absurd, and the second made a world of sense. You still think it's not a civil rights issue right there? If you do, you better rethink that. Folks, those kids deserve a shot. And they say it all the time because they're not those kids. They're our kids. Because I was one of them. I grew up really poor. I try to be a buzzkill. I promise I'll smile at the end. But Not always. We actually started out middle class. My father was a plumber, my mother was a grocery store clerk. But when my parents got divorced, we moved into the city of New York. We moved above a bar. It was not a pleasant place to live. A lot of bar fights, a lot of Elton John in the jukebox. I actually still like Elton John. A lot of Elton John in the jukebox, and a whole lot of Cheerios for dinner. Matter of fact, I see all the time they were really O's. Remember O's? Like they weren't Cheerios, they came in a bag because Cheerios were too expensive. A lot of O's for dinner. You know, when you go to bed at night and you dream about food because you're hungry, you never forget that, ever. And for those in the room who lived through that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those who haven't, God bless you, never get to that point. I used to dream about raisin bread, ironically enough. Total raisin bread. I don't even like raisins. I think it was the sugary raisins, I don't know. But I would dream about food because I was so hungry. I tell you that story because my only way out, and the only reason I'm speaking to you in coherent sentences right now, the only reason, is because a Catholic school took us on as a kind of charity. Because we paid some years we didn't pay a lot. But they took me and my two brothers on. It's the only reason. I tell you that story because, again, those kids are not those kids. They're our kids. They deserve a shot. Your American dream is not theirs. It's not. They don't see what you see. They wake up in the morning and just hope to live through the day sometime. They don't think about, well, how do I get my, finish my master's and get my PhD in engineering? How do I get that, senior engineering job with Google? How do I go work for Booz Allen as a consultant? They don't, that is a land so foreign to them, they don't even know it. But why? Not because of us. It's not. School choice is our idea. So I beg of you, anyone on the Democrat side or Independent side, that is our idea. Those kids need a shot. They deserve a shot. They are our kids. How many iPads, how many medical devices, how many life-saving technologies, new fuel sources could have been invented in Baltimore City or Prince George's County if those kids had a shot. Same shot we had. They deserve it. They deserve it. There is an entitlement. They're entitled to access to the American dream too. But make no mistake, that's our cause. It's not theirs. It never was. They sold those kids out years ago. Remember, we live in an ideas economy now, folks. We are not an agricultural society anymore. You cannot fail to get an education, walk out on your farm, and make a good living. You can't. You are shut out completely. You have nothing. And you want to talk about compassion to us? What compassion is that? Again, this is the issue is grave. It is an economic issue. It is. We would be overflowing with capital right now if the bottom 20% of performers, we could just bump up to that next grade level. But they don't want to hear it. I want to leave you with this thought. Maryland, our home, my home, your home. I know we've lost a few fights, I understand that. And I've seen some postings and emails recently about, well, jump on the bus and let's go to Virginia or Pennsylvania or Mars. I mean, I delete them because I get upset. Folks, you live here. You pay taxes here. Your kids go to school here. You go to the doctor, typically, here. This is your home. Don't ever see ground in your home or evaluate the quality and beauty of our state based on its, what I consider to be, horrendous government right now. This state does not belong to Martin O'Malley, Michael Bush, Mike Miller, Ben Cardin, or if I get elected, it's not mine either, nor do I want it. It is yours. Don't leave. Please don't leave. Virginia does need help, but they need that help from Kentucky and West Virginia. I ask you to fight here, and I ask you to fight now, because going forward, if we lose this election, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not. Really, I don't do that. Folks, if we lose this, the country in 4 years will not be the same place.
It's not the same as it was 4 years ago.
And it's only going to get worse. It is not the same place. They do not, the folks in power now are not the Clinton administration. These are not Kennedy Democrats. They are ideologues first. Please understand that. They are not politicians. Anyone who tells you the president is a good politician is lying. He is a terrible politician. If he would just come out tomorrow and say, I won't raise your taxes, let's dial back a little bit of this healthcare reform and make it patient-driven. We're going to give you options. And let's re-implement school choice. He'd be elected by 20 points. No doubt about it. He'd rout just like Clinton did. Because Clinton was smart. He dialed it back. This man is an ideologue first and a politician second. That is dangerous if you're a Republican or a Democrat. You will not recognize this country in 4 years, and you will rue the day you pulled the lever. Please, please consider this. I am telling you, he does not see it the same way. He sees a government of the anointed, not a government of the elected. There's a difference. They view this ideologically. They don't view it politically. Thomas Sowell's book is called Vision of the Anointed for a reason. It's not called Vision of the Elected. They've anointed themselves to spend your money. So please, I ask you, don't leave. Do something. Anything. Call someone. Join our, please give us your email. Donate any money you can, please. I have all the money I need for this election. You know what? It's in your pockets. I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. I need your help. I gave up absolutely everything to do this. It was the toughest decision I ever made. I love my job. I was a Secret Service agent. It wasn't a job to me. It really wasn't. I would have done it for free if someone would just guarantee I had food and roof over my head. It was a cause for me. It was. I left it, Bob. It was the toughest decision I ever made in my life. I had nothing when we started this a year and a half ago. Zero. I had no volunteers. I was just me and a couple ideas that we could fix this. We're struggling right now, my family. That's not a sympathy plea. I don't need your sympathy. I don't, and I don't want it. This is the U.S. Senate. Vote for me because you believe it. Not because it's a sad story, because it's not. It's my choice. But I'll tell you, I left everything to do this. I'm imploring you, please help me. I cannot do this alone. I beg of you, please, before you leave tonight, just do something. Give us your email. Give us $1. We'll take it. But thank you very much for coming out.